Happy birthday, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. It's funny how life works. I watched Suits years ago, long before I even became a content creator. I had no idea that one character on one television show would eventually lead me down a path that would completely change my life. Over the years, I've watched you navigate challenges that most people couldn't even imagine. You've been criticized, underestimated, lied about, and picked apart on a global stage. But you never stopped moving forward. You kept creating. You kept building. You kept investing in women. You kept showing up for your family. That takes strength. One of the things I admire most about you is how you use your platform. You don't just talk about lifting women up. You invest in female-founded businesses. You shine a spotlight on entrepreneurs. You use what people call the Meghan effect to create opportunities for others. That is so admirable. Your resilience has inspired millions of people, including myself. Not because you're perfect, none of us are, but because you keep going. You keep choosing joy. You keep choosing purpose. So today, I hope you are surrounded by the people who matter most. I hope you're making beautiful memories with Prince Harry, Prince Archie, and Princess Lilibet. I hope today is filled with laughter, love, and peace. Thank you for inspiring so many of us to keep showing up, to keep creating, and to never let other people define our worth. Happy birthday, Meghan. I hope this next year brings you every happiness, because you've certainly brought a lot of inspiration into the lives of others. With love, JT.
Happy birthday to Duchess Meghan, Doria Ragland's daughter, CEO of Azeva, investor, philanthropist, TV, movie, documentary producer. What else can I give Meghan? I've already said investor. And just all round badass. Her resilience is something to talk about, to admire. Because this woman every day faces something that I don't even think 99% of us can survive. And for her to go through all that and come out on top, Meghan is a badass. I use this picture especially for those of you, because I've seen some black women and men come up here and say things like, Meghan is not black. Meghan pretends to be black. Meghan, I'm not here to reconcile that discussion with you. Discuss it with yourself. But just to remind everybody that Meghan is of African ancestry through her mother. She's never tried to hide it. She's never tried to be anything other than a woman of color existing in the world. If people looking at her do not immediately clock black, Meghan did not create her features. Does she have some benefits in the world because she looks like this? I'm not going to sit down here and pretend either. But I want to remind everybody that despite looking this way, she receives daily, continued, racist abuse. And despite all that, she still rises and gets on with the job of living, loving, and making her bag. And I honestly cannot but admire this woman greatly. Have a wonderful day, Meghan. We need international shipping for Azeva. Please drop your birthday wishes in the chat. And join me on my live celebrating Meghan's birthday. Bye.
Guys, I saw this on Twitter, on SK's page on Twitter. And as you all know, as most of you know, today's Meghan's birthday. Happy birthday, Meghan. And a British journalist actually wrote this. So Meghan was supposed to not be born on the 4th of August because it was going to clash with royal events. How is it that you have to shoe in the relevant royals into the birthday of the irrelevant royal? Guys, no, honestly, tell me. How is it that on Meghan's birthday, they suddenly remember about Prince William being Christian? What was Meghan supposed to do about that? Not be born? So now she's overshadowing Prince William's christening. That's where they're going with this. That's how low these journalists are going with this, talking about Meghan's birthday. Like, why can't they, if they're going to write about Meghan's birthday, why can't they just write about Meghan's birthday without making it about the royals? And then they'll come and cry and crow and say, Meghan makes everything about the royal family, blah, blah, blah. But it's just her birthday. She hasn't said anything, and they've already shooed in Prince William into an article about Meghan. Like, they cannot help themselves, and they keep calling her irrelevant. How irrelevant is that? Like, now, honestly, when I saw it, I just had to laugh. I just had to show you guys. Honestly, it's just Miss Meghan. But like, come on, at least on her birthday. Come on her birthday. Meghan's birthday is the only one that literally overshadows every single thing that members of the royal family do.
A birthday isn't just about candles and cake. It's also one of those moments where people stop and ask, so what actually happened this year? And when you look at Meghan's journey, one thing jumps out immediately. Remember when people kept saying, she's finished, Hollywood doesn't want her, she'll disappear. Some folks were saying that so often you'd think they had it printed on t-shirts. Yet here we are, another birthday, another year, and somehow they're still waiting for that prediction to come true. At some point, you've got to laugh, because if someone has supposedly fallen off, why are people still writing articles about what she wore, what she posted, where she went, and what she's planning next? That math isn't mathing. Here's what stands out to me. Meghan stopped waiting for people to hand her permission. That's a lesson regular people understand. Most of us don't have a palace. We don't have fancy titles opening doors. We wake up, figure it out, pay bills, chase opportunities, and keep moving. That's real life. She could have spent years trying to convince people to like her. Instead, she went, cool, I'll build something anyway. That's the part that hits different. You don't have to win over every critic. Sometimes the best response is getting busy while they're still arguing in the comments. Think about it. We've all met that one person who keeps saying you'll fail, you can't do this, nobody will support you. Then 6 months later, they're quietly watching everything you're doing. They never clap for you, but somehow they know every move you make. Funny how that works. Meghan's story reminds me of that. She didn't freeze because people doubted her. She kept showing up. New projects, new partnerships, charity work, business moves, one step after another. And let's be honest, that's probably the most annoying thing for the haters. They wanted the story to end years ago. Meanwhile, Meghan keeps adding new chapters like she's saying, you're done because I'm not. I know some people expected her to spend the rest of her life looking over her shoulder, trying to prove something to everybody. Instead, she seems focused on the next opportunity. That's how winners think. Life is too short to spend every morning checking whether strangers approve of your choices. Imagine living like that. You'd never get anything done. By the time you've finished reading everyone's opinions, it's already dinner time. No thanks. The biggest win isn't making every person like you. That's impossible. Somebody will complain if the sun rises too early. The real win is refusing to let other people write your story. That's what regular people connect with. Maybe your dream isn't a Netflix project or launching a business. Maybe it's starting a small company, changing careers, going back to school, or finally taking that chance you've been scared to take. The lesson is the same. People will always have something to say. Let them talk. While they're talking, you keep building. And that's probably the best birthday gift anyone can give themselves. Not applause, not approval, just the freedom to say, this is my life, and I'm going to live it my way. That's a mindset nobody can take away from you.
Let's be real for a second. The internet moves fast. 1 minute you're trending, the next minute somebody's arguing about a cat wearing sunglasses, and everyone has forgotten you even existed. That's how fame usually works. You get your 15 minutes, then the algorithm says, thanks for playing, and moves on. But Meghan? 6 years later, people are still talking. That's not normal. Every time she steps outside, somebody writes a headline. If she launches something, it's everywhere. If she visits a charity, cameras appear out of nowhere. If she shares a family moment, social media turns into a full-time debate club. At this point, I don't even think the headlines take holidays. Imagine waking up and finding out people on 3 different continents are discussing the shoes you wore yesterday. I'd be like, can I at least finish my coffee first? And here's the funny part. You'll hear people say, nobody cares about Meghan anymore. Really? Then why is she still front page news? Why are TV panels still bringing up her name? Why do YouTube channels keep making videos? Why are people arguing in comment sections like they're getting paid overtime? Come on now. When people truly stop caring about someone, they stop talking. Silence is what irrelevance looks like. Constant conversation? That's a whole different story. This isn't even about agreeing with everything Meghan does. It's about noticing what's happening right in front of us. She left royal duties years ago. Years. Most people thought the attention would disappear after a few months. Instead, every year rolls by and somehow she's still part of the biggest conversations. That's staying power. And regular people understand this better than anyone. Think about your favorite musician from 10 years ago. Some vanished. Think about that viral influencer everyone couldn't stop talking about. Half of them disappeared faster than free snacks at the office. That's how quick attention comes and goes. Keeping people's attention, that's the hard part. Whether it's entertainment, business, charity work, or simply showing up somewhere, Meghan keeps finding ways to stay in the conversation. And no, that's not luck. You don't accidentally stay relevant for 6 years. You earn that by continuing to give people something to talk about. Here's another thing that makes me laugh. Some critics act exhausted talking about Meghan while starting 5 new conversations about Meghan before lunchtime. If you're tired, you can stop. Nobody's forcing you. But they don't stop because they know one thing: her name gets attention. That's why this story matters beyond the royal world. In everyday life, people remember consistency. Showing up once is easy. Showing up year after year, that's where the respect comes from. Whether you're building a business, growing a YouTube channel, chasing a promotion, or learning a new skill, the people who last are usually the ones who refuse to quit when the spotlight gets smaller. Meghan's journey reminds people that lasting power isn't about making noise every single day. It's about staying in the game. Because trends come and go, but the people who keep moving forward, they're the ones everyone is still talking about long after everyone expected the conversation to end. One thing I always notice when Meghan's birthday comes around, the internet wakes up. You open social media and it's birthday messages from everywhere. America, Africa, Europe, Asia, different time zones, different languages, different backgrounds. People are showing love from all over the place. That's pretty wild when you stop and think about it. And before somebody jumps into the comments yelling, "Well, I don't like her," relax. Nobody said everybody does. No public figure on earth has unanimous support. If that were the rule, we'd have to cancel the entire celebrity industry by lunchtime. Here's what's interesting. Meghan didn't build supporters who all look the same or come from one country. That's not what's happening. Her audience is global. That's a different level. Some people know her from acting, others follow the royal story. Some admire the charity work, others like her business projects. Some simply respect the way she kept going when life got messy. Different roads, same destination. And every birthday, those roads meet online. Now here's where regular people can relate. Real support isn't the loudest person in your comments. It's the people who keep showing up. The friend who checks on you, the customer who keeps buying from your small business, the subscriber who's watched your videos for years, the people who clap when nobody else is clapping. That's real support. Anybody can cheer when you're winning. The real ones stick around when everybody else says you're finished. That's where loyalty comes from. Let's be honest, Meghan has had more headlines written about her than some people have unread emails. Good ones, bad ones, weird ones. Some headlines were so dramatic you'd think she had stolen the moon. Yet despite all that, people stayed. That's what catches my attention. Support isn't built overnight. You can't microwave loyalty. It takes time, it takes consistency, it takes giving people a reason to come back. That's true whether you're running a YouTube channel, a coffee shop, a family business, or just trying to make something of yourself. People don't keep showing up year after year by accident. You've got to give them something they connect with. And here's the funniest part. Some critics spend all year saying Meghan has no supporters. Then her birthday arrives and social media starts looking like an international block party. It's almost like the internet says, "Yeah, about that." Look, nobody has to agree on every opinion about Meghan. That's not the point. The point is simple. If people from different countries, different cultures, and different walks of life are still taking time out of their day to celebrate you years later, you've clearly made an impression. That's bigger than one headline, bigger than one interview, bigger than one news cycle. At the end of the day, birthdays aren't really about counting candles. They're about realizing who stayed in your corner. And judging by what we see every year, Meghan has built a community that stretches far beyond palace walls. That's something money can't buy, and that's something no headline can erase.
Here's the thing about birthdays. They aren't just a reminder that you're getting older. They're a little checkpoint. You stop for a second, look in the rearview mirror, smile at a few memories, then you put the car back in drive. That's exactly where Meghan is. People keep acting like her story has already been written. I'm sorry, who decided that? Last time I checked, the book isn't finished. There's still blank pages, there's still another chapter. And if we've learned anything over the last few years, it's this. Every time somebody says, "That's it for Meghan," she pops up doing something new. It's almost becoming a tradition at this point. New project, new partnership, new appearance, new conversation. Meanwhile, the critics are still recycling the same script from 6 years ago. At this rate, their predictions deserve retirement benefits. What I like is that she doesn't seem stuck in one lane. One day it's business, another day it's charity, another day it's entertainment, then she's spending time with Prince Harry and focusing on family.
Life keeps moving, and so does she. That's something regular people understand. None of us wants to be frozen in one moment forever. Imagine if your whole life was judged by one bad year. Nah, we all grow, we all change, we all find new opportunities. That's just life. The funniest part, some people spend more time planning Meghan's downfall than planning their own future. Priorities, people. Imagine putting that much energy into your own dreams. You'd probably surprise yourself. Here's what stands out to me. She doesn't look like someone waiting for permission. She looks like someone asking, okay, what's next? That's a powerful mindset, because life rewards people who keep moving. You miss one opportunity? Fine, another one will come. One door closes, go knock on another. That's how everyday people survive. That's how businesses grow. That's how careers are built. So when I see Meghan's birthday, I don't just think about everything she's already done. I think about everything she hasn't done yet. That's the exciting part. Nobody knows what's around the corner. Maybe another business move, maybe another creative project, maybe another charity initiative that gets people talking. Whatever it is, you already know one thing. The headlines will be ready, the comment sections will be full, the debates will start before breakfast. Some things never change, and honestly, that's kind of funny. Whether people cheer for her or roll their eyes, they keep watching. That tells you everything. So on this birthday, I'd say the biggest message isn't about the past, it's about momentum. Keep growing, keep building. Keep proving yourself to yourself, not to strangers hiding behind profile pictures. Because birthdays aren't the finish line, they're the start of another lap. And if Meghan's journey has taught people anything, it's that your next chapter doesn't have to look anything like your last one. Sometimes the best surprises happen after everyone else thinks they've already figured you out. So here's to new beginnings, bigger dreams, and writing your own story, one page at a time. That's the kind of energy worth celebrating. And before I go, today we celebrate a very happy birthday to Meghan, wishing her nothing but joy, good health, laughter, and many more amazing years ahead. And to every incredible woman and every awesome gentleman turning 45 this year, this one's for you too. You're not getting old, you're just becoming a limited edition. 45 is the new 25 with experience, wisdom, and a few mysterious knee sounds. Happy birthday to all of you. To my amazing squaddies, thank you so much for watching, for showing up, for laughing with me, and for being part of this awesome community. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm your host, Miles. Love you all. Stay blessed. Enjoy your week, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.